side? West side? What's up, West side? Rams, go Rams. Okay, today on the ATOWN'S podcast show, I'm gonna welcome this special guest. She just flew in from Baltimore. Nah, just kidding. She's actually from Baltimore, Bmore.
Yes.
To be more exact, she has a nonprofit. Well, she has a bachelor's degree in science and psychology. That means she can get to your side of your head. You know what I'm talking about? Just a little bit. She also has a master's of organizational leadership. See, I remember all that. I read that bio and then I
Doing good.
ran it down. She also she works in the community around Anderson, helping other people get their lives together. A-Town podcast viewers, please welcome tonight's guest, Miss Tiffany Hope McAllister. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here, Miss McAllister. You brought your partner with you, but she don't want to talk on the camera. We're gonna get to you a little bit, Miss Rice Johnson. Johnson Rice. Rice Johnson. Johnson Rice. My bad. See what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. So, Miss McAllister, can I call you Hope, Tiffany, Miss McAllister?
You can call me either one, but I go by Hope.
Hope, okay, because I saw that in your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hope. Why Hope, though?
For me, in this season of my life, I identify with that name. That's my middle name.
Okay.
And I didn't embrace my middle name until I started coming into enlightenment, approaching 30s and going into my mid-30s. And my current situation is just, that's my identity.
Okay. So you wanted to get closer to your middle name.
Because I found purpose in my middle name.
Right. But you do give hope.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
My personal philosophy is to light the way for others. And I do that by instilling hope in every interaction, everywhere that I go.
That's what's up. I like that. So, all right, Hope. Miss Baltimore. So how'd you get down here?
Right when I was in that season of my life finding purpose, I found purpose in pain. I was born and raised in Baltimore my whole life. And I went away to college, came back to Baltimore, and started doing work in the nonprofit field. I was working for nonprofits, and one of them lost federal funding, which led to a lot of cuts. And soon after, I also got cut. I was buying my house. I bought my house at the age of 25.
Okay.
So I did a lot of things, a lot of firsts in my family line.
Okay.
First to graduate high school, first to graduate college, finished my degree, first to buy a house. I bought my home. I was living in it for 5 years. So I was approaching 30 when I lost my home.
Okay.
And that was when I started going through my spiritual enlightenment, because I was turning my pain into purpose. I was meditating and praying and asking God to show me, what am I here for? Why does this hurt so bad? Why did I build my life up thinking that I was doing all the right things only to lose it? And what am I doing wrong? How do I fix it? And I just kept journaling and I just kept writing. And I found that my poetry was purposeful. It wasn't only for me, but it was for others. Some of my poems would come out in the third person. So it was like God was using my story to write words that would touch others and relate to others and bring them out of a dark place. Because all of my poetry has a common theme, which it might paint a hopeless situation, but it circles right back around to leave the poem on a piece of hope. And so I felt like that was my purpose. I felt like that was what I was called to do, is embrace who I tried to deny my whole life because I didn't like my middle name. And it's another story behind why I didn't like my middle name. But when I embraced it, that's where I found purpose in my writing, in my own healing, and using that to instill hope in others.
That's what's up. You know, you had me damn near crying just now, boy. I tell you, shit, you didn't. I didn't take a station break for a minute, but I got my damn left eye leaking. Excuse me, Miss Stratton. So you lost your house, then you moved down here, or you stayed in Baltimore a little while longer?
I moved down here.
Straight down here.
I actually handled my short sale because I was going through foreclosure on my home, and I handled my short sale from down here. I came down here, and I just stayed. God kept saying, "Be still and know that I am God," and I didn't know what He was going to do. I never lived nowhere other than Baltimore. I came down here because my mother's side of the family had already started migrating back down here. My mother's side of the family is from the Carolinas.
Okay.
And my grandmother migrated back down here while I was still in college. And so did my mother with my siblings. And they finished high school down here, West Side Rams.
There you go.
And I was in college during that time and living in my home during that time. And then when all of that transpired and I knew I needed a fresh start, and God told me to start over down here.
Okay.
And I didn't know what that was going to look like, but I just stayed on faith, and my life has been blossoming ever since.
No doubt. That's great. Because really, like, it sounds to me like you put a lot of emphasis into your home, which I know it's a big step in someone's life to buy a house at that age, and then to go through something that whatever it was, cuts and jobs, whatever. A lot of times we need something to incite something else inside of us to give us that other fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes it's something material, whatever.
Right.
Sometimes we lose someone to death, whatever.
Right.
But we all need something to get us to our purpose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree with that.
I hate to say it that way, but it's just what it is.
Right.
You have to go through some things.
Right, definitely. I can attest to that too in my own journey, going through painful experiences that when you go through them at that time, you don't know why you got to go through it. You don't know why you have to endure that. But then after the fact, maybe years down the line, you see why it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to, and it makes more sense. I believe that there's always something you could learn from the hardships that you go through. Mm-hmm. And I can attest to the fact that those hardships make me hard in the sense of not hard like you can't express yourself or, you too good to be transparent, but hard in the sense that I have the skills and the perseverance and the resilience I need to continue to endure through hardships and still come out on top.
Right. Well, I know you tough though. I know you tough. You came in the door, you had that smile on your face, like I can tell you tough. I can tell that. Okay, so I used to be in Glen Burnie a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't going to talk about that, though.
I used to be in Glen Burnie a lot, too.
Yeah. It's been Glen Burnie a good bit. You run through there, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, you down here, starting fresh, starting new. You got a job where?
I started working at a convenience store real quick, but with my bachelor's degree, I was looking to get back in the nonprofit realm, and I started working at New Foundations Children's Home.
Okay.
I was a unit manager for the Girls Pod, and then I quickly moved up to the Title I Education Coordinator, and I stayed there for almost 5 years.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Damn, now let me add this up now. Let me go back. 25 and 5, 30. Came down here. You worked that 5.
Oh, you trying to figure out my age.
How old are you? Man? I'm trying to get you together.
I'm not 40 yet.
I didn't think you were, but I'm close. I was 38.5. 38.5. I was close. But okay, you still young though. I mean, I knew you was young, but I didn't know you was still, young. Okay, so you got your bachelor's of science in psychology. Why psychology?
Because ever since I was a child, I was always intrigued by what makes people tick, why people choose to make the choices that they make in life, and what influences people's choices. I was always very observant, very curious. I asked a lot of questions. I was the child that you always got in trouble for back talking. Because I was very inquisitive. And so I really wasn't going to go to college at first. My mom had me when she was 15. I had very young parents. My mom didn't finish high school. And I was at a fork in the road. I could have chose to perpetuate that, or I could have chose to proceed that. And I chose to proceed that. But I was in high school, and I always knew that was my interest. But it wasn't until I started exposing myself to different things. I would go to high school and my counselor would say, you're going to take this trip over to this college and you're going to take this trip over to that college. So the exposure put my foot out there, and I was like, oh, this is what college is like. Oh, this is what a college campus is like. So when it came down to narrowing down my choices on where I was going to go and what I was going to do, I just stuck with what I know, which is I'm always interested in people. So if I got to go to college, I'm going to go to something that's interesting. And while I might have got C's and average grades in all my other classes, my psychology classes, I always got them A's because that was what piqued my interest.
Well, but you passed though. You graduated. You got your degree.
Yeah.
See, I took psychology too.
Yeah.
But there's another story. I made some D's in that mile. Because I was interested in nobody else's brain, though. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't interested in nobody else's thoughts.
Right.
But so you did that. Got your degree. Graduated. Did you have a graduation party?
Probably. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I did because I was the person that liked to bring people together in large numbers, like have a shindig and 40, 50 people be at my house. Okay. So I'm sure I probably cooked, made some drinks, and had a whole bunch of people over.
You can cook?
I love to cook.
Like crab cakes?
I do love, I'm from Baltimore. You know I eat crab cakes.
Crab cakes, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they're good now. Don't
and
make
blue
them
crabs.
Blue crabs, yeah. Don't make them crab cakes when they be soggy though. Don't make them kind.
They got to be meaty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a low country boil was until I moved to the South.
Really?
And now we eat low country boils all the time because I can't get blue crabs nowhere.
Yeah, it's fire. Yeah, it's fire. Okay. You did that. Okay. You're very interesting though. I mean, I want to get to the poetry because she does poetry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do poetry.
She'll give us the poem in a little bit.
I write poetry.
You write it, and then she stands up and does it too. Do you stand up? You perform it?
I can read it.
You can read it. Okay.
I have read it on stage. A lot of people know Moody Black, Stephanie Johnson Rice. When I first moved to Anderson, that was who God led me to. She was just planning in a committee at my church. I started going to my mom's church when I got down here. And she was on a planning committee. They were going to put together a women's empowerment program at the church. And someone had asked her to come and join. And we just clicked from there. We put the program together with this committee. We did a women's empowerment. We were doing Beauty for Ashes. And me and her locked arms since. She became my mentor, one of my best friends. And we've been doing poetry and community ever since.
Good job, partner.
And Moody Black, he used to make me get on stage at Coffee Underground, and I had to get up there and do 2 poems every time I went. And I was so out of my comfort zone, but I did it.
But that's good for you, though. I mean, you out here right now. You out here you're doing your thing. You're doing really good tonight.
Thank you.
So, yeah, she'll give us a little poetry after a while, y'all. She's just going to, she gives a little something. So, you spoke about the women's empowerment program, nonprofit. You want to give some ideas about behind that? Like what gave you that idea to start that or to help get that going?
So we're doing empowerment twofold. We're going to do a for-profit, nonprofit side. The for-profit side is going to be women's empowerment because I believe that when we empower the women, when we heal the women, when we heal the queen, being the most powerful piece on the chessboard, we heal a whole community. We heal our men. We heal our children. We heal our families. So I started with networking with a few friends. I threw some ideas out there. I was like, we got to do something. We got to empower women. Let's do a YouTube channel. So coming up shortly, I will be launching with my 2 of my dear friends a women's empowerment YouTube channel that will lead into a whole organization of how we create initiatives just on women's empowerment. But we just recently had a community event, and we called it the Empowerment Experience, where from women's empowerment, it's going to trickle down into the community where we empower businesses, where we empower individuals. And the goal is to empower our community, to create safe spaces for people to come together, support one another, grow their businesses, grow initiatives, and inspire each other to take those risks that we wouldn't normally take because of lack of exposure or lack of education or lack of experience or lack of resources. If we come together as a people, we could provide that for each other so that more people will move from surviving into thriving and create more success for the Black family in our community.
That's what's up. Like, do you ever had this thought maybe you do, maybe you don't. Do you ever think like sometimes what our community needs is it money as a resource, is it more of a education, information type? I mean, do we need money or what? Is it money or just education or the information to start doing better things?
I think that's multifaceted because I think we need, at least we tell ourselves, we can't do certain things till we have the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to have all our ducks in a row. So, we won't do certain things until we feel like we're ready and we're there and we got all of our resources together, right? So money does help. And the lack of money in our community does keep a lot of us from pursuing certain opportunities.
So, I'm sorry. Go
But
ahead.
on the other side of that, I think it's belief. I think that for a long time, the societal constraints and conditioning that was placed on our people have made us not know who we are as a people, and we don't believe in ourselves.
That's
we
right.
seek God outside of ourselves, and while He is everywhere and in everything, He's also within us. And He said, y'all will go on to be greater than me. And we don't always believe that. I know I've struggled with confidence and belief in my own life, and that is why I choose to empower women, because as I'm empowering myself, I want other women to be empowered too. And then as women are empowering each other, I want that to trickle down into the community.
I like that. Do you think, this will be a question, I'm going to ask you this question. It might sound kind of crazy, but it's not. I'm trying to ask you something that, do you think that you would have survived as a slave?
Boy, I ask myself that every time I
Really?
watch
Okay.
like a slavery flick. You know what I mean? I ask myself, and with my arrogance sometimes, with how pushy I could be, with how free-spirited I am, I probably would be the one to be the defiant slave.
Right.
And I don't know if that would be a good thing in bringing people out of the slavery like Harriet Tubman, or would that have got me killed early on? Because I watch the movies all the time, and I'd be like, see, I probably would be the first one to die because I'm not putting up with that shit.
Right.
I'm not putting up with it.
Right. But
Y'all don't know how much power y'all got in numbers. Y'all better stand up. You know, see, I be the guy.
Yeah.
So
But you be in the house though.
that
be in the house.
because
Yeah,
yes,
you be in the house. So
I
you
would be.
Yeah,
I
you be in the
would
house, so you wouldn't bring that.
I might
Nah.
have a little bit more protections,
Yeah,
so I
you-
might have got tortured.
Yeah, you be in the house. You be in the house though. I on the other hand, I'd be outside. Toting. I'd be dead too though. I'd be got shot. Got shot day one.
Right.
Anyway, I want to start. Okay, I want to ask the question because I want to ask people that question because I know sometimes you're very smart. You speak very, very well, and but you would have got.
It takes a spiritual strength to be able to be as strong as our ancestors were, I think.
Yeah.
And while I think it's always in us, that fire is always in us.
Always.
I don't know that we've been taught how to bounce into that fire when we need it the most.
Well, we can't work together though. We can't. Well, I take that back. We can come together, but we can't stay together long enough to really see something grow and burgeon and get out there and transcend.
That
You know
part.
what I'm saying? We have an issue with getting together long enough. We can go to the club together now.
Right.
Get in the damn club all night long,
Right.
side by side, packed out.
Right.
Leave the club and get into a damn fight.
We could gossip about each other.
Yeah.
We could talk negativity, fuel that negativity all day.
Yeah.
We'll sit here and watch a fight on Netflix, and we'll push it, and it gets 1 million views.
Send it to
right?
everybody. Yeah. Send it to everybody. Yeah.
But somebody send a little, "You're beautiful today," and trying to speak life and positivity into you for
Won't even
5
share it.
seconds and won't even share it.
Won't even
Won't
share
even
it.
like it because you don't want nobody else to see that you liked
that.
it.
Yeah. Crazy.
But you needed that, and you know you needed that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people are conditioned to be self-serving, and in being self-serving, we're always worried about what other people think.
Social media has really fucked us up. Fucked up especially our community. You know, we don't, we're the only ones. Well, we know we spend all the money. We spend all our damn money buying whatever. And we spend all our time on social media trying to tell everybody what the fuck we done bought.
Right.
And where we at? We over here. We out. You know, we
Only
outside.
the stuff that you think appeals to the masses, though.
Yeah.
When most of the time we don't even want to see half that shit.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't get it together.
Social media can be a hindrance, but it can also be a tool for empowerment too if you use it right. Like I have intention behind my social media, so I'm always spreading light, love, hope, faith.
I saw that.
I don't put no negativity on my page. If I have to second guess, is this negative or would this rub somebody the wrong way? I just don't even post it. You know what I mean? And when I curate my news feed to all the things that I follow, which are all the things that I need to fuel me. So some people will be like, you ain't see when I posted that? I'm sorry, but my news feed got a whole bunch of other shit in it. So I ain't see that. I'm sorry. Like, I ain't see that.
Yeah.
I was too busy watching the motivation and reading the positive quotes. I need that. I need that to continue to be in my right headspace. You know what I'm saying? So that I can continue to have the energy I need to do all that I need to do.
Right. Understood. Okay. What's your favorite movie?
That's hard to say because I've watched movies, but even as a little girl, I really was not entertained by television a lot. Like, I'd rather sit and listen to the radio and hear songs that spoke to my soul. I would sit and listen to the Love Zone on 92Q, and I would just record song after song on cassette tapes. And then when it got to making CD-ROMs and we could burn CDs, I was burning CDs, and they was always Love Jones songs and love mixes and romances. I've always been a hopeless romantic, I guess that's what you call it, or just somebody who just believes in love.
Yeah. You look.
And
yeah, I could tell.
Thank you.
I could tell you. That's why I asked you about the movie thing, because you didn't
So
include me to be the one that watched the movies in lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You didn't have that kind of.
But I would sit and watch movies, and then I remember when they first took analog TV off, and you had to get digital cable. I just went without TV. Like, I went without TV for a long time. I actually, the whole time, most of the time I lived in my house, I did not have TV. So when I moved to South Carolina, I was accustomed to not watching TV anymore. And then everybody Netflix and chilling. And I only did it, just to people gather around, watch a movie, binge watch a series or whatever. But in my free time, I wasn't watching TV like that. I just recently started putting TVs back in my house because I got a 4-year-old and a man who loves to watch certain shows. So, but if I had it my way, I wouldn't even have a TV.
I feel you on that. I feel you. But yeah, I like TVs though. I like the TVs how they made. I don't give a damn about what's on them. I know it sounds crazy, but I like to watch sports though.
Yeah.
If it's not sports related, I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
So I like sports.
Right.
All sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and watch the Ravens all day, and I'm gonna sit down and watch the Steelers just because that's my rival and that's my king's team. So we be in the house.
Beefing.
Yeah, not necessarily, but pumping it up.
Yeah.
He got a little end table with Steelers. I got a little end table with Ravens, and we just be in there. Gotta watch the game because we gonna see who win.
That's right. I'm a Baltimore fan. Lamar Jackson. That's my dog. But we got to get some wins now. We've been effing up last week.
Right.
We've been playing like we ain't want to win. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part.
Yeah. Okay, so like you down here. So what do you say? So your nonprofit, you had an event the other week. I was gonna try to come to it. When you have the ideas for your events, do you go out here and get sponsorships? Do you try to get sponsorships, or how do you do that?
Well, not at the moment, but I will be in the near future. Like I said, this is just in the still birthing stages because we only had one community event. We had some people come, but now it's just about getting the word out there. So we are having another empowerment experience workshop at the Anderson County Library on January 25th, which is a Saturday, and it's going to be in the afternoon. So be on the lookout for the flyers because I'll be posting them on social media.
Well, take your information and go to all of these car dealerships, all these damn restaurants that we go to. We buying cars and eating out every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
Go in to the people, look at, give you $100 to sponsor your event.
Mm-hmm.
If they say they ain't got it, we're going to march there and shut this shit down. You feel me?
I hear you.
I'm just trying to tell you, because that's what you're supposed to do. We don't know the power that we have. Our voices, hell, our color powerful. You feel me? You know, I was watching this thing a couple of years ago with Tip, you know, T.I. There was a Houston's restaurant in Atlanta, down on Buckhead. The restaurant had some kind of dress code thing going on, whatever. They won't let nobody black in or whatever. They marched and shut that motherfucker, they shut that shit down. Mm-hmm. We gotta start doing the same thing up here in Anderson, in Greenville, whatever. We gotta start marching, shutting down shit. If you don't want to get with us, get your ass rolled over.
I feel
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's time to start being. And I'm gonna say militant, but it's time to start walking in our power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even just saying this to be saying this shit. I'm telling the truth. We gotta start walking in our power.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
It's cities out here. Think back to Greenville, Jesse Jackson. This black man, they caught him in town. Shit wasn't going right in Greenville. They called Jesse. Jesse come to this motherfucker from Chicago. Shut this shit down. Mm-hmm. BMW, all them places got it. He came to this motherfucker and shut it. And okay, then they let black people start doing things, getting the King Holiday and stuff like that. If we don't start saying something and doing something, ain't nothing gonna ever change.
Yeah.
So all the things that you want to do, as far as the empowerment and everything goes, if the community out here don't want to support it, because we don't have a lot of black business around here anyway.
Right.
So all the business around here, you got Olive Garden, Applebee's, Best Buy, Home Depot, Lowe's, Office Depot, all of them. Target, Walmart. You go to them and you say, look, I'm having a community event for our community. Can you guys put up a sponsorship? They say no. We march and shut that shit down. Period.
Absolutely. And see, you speak truth in the sense of if the community don't want to support it, it don't last. Yeah. And I've been in Anderson since 2015, and I've had the pleasure of being a part of a lot of different community events, initiatives. Met a lot of great black folk that are starting businesses, creating movements, doing music, opening up art galleries. You know, all these great things. And then they'll have venues, they'll have spaces like this where you can rent out and do things. And then in a year or two, you'll see that same place shut down because our own people didn't show out for our people. And then they don't have success because everybody trying to do the same things all at the same time. But then we don't see the power in being able to support each other doing all those same endeavors. You know what I mean? One thing when I learned from my mentors, and I try to surround myself with people who are doing what I want to do. You know, because I can't learn from you if you're not doing it. You can't teach me how to be a millionaire if you're not a millionaire. So I try to put myself in situations where I'm around people that could teach me success in the areas that I'm trying to go to. And one thing that I learned from business people and millionaires that I've been mentoring with, had the pleasure of mentoring with, is that leverage is powerful, right? You know, the rich get rich off of leverage. I could sit out here and go out here for 12 hours and do a dash, drive for Uber Eats, and make a good chunk of change. I did that for 12 hours, and I'm going to make a good chunk of change. But what if I started a business where I have 10 drivers that drive those same 12 hours? You know what I mean? But now the entity that I created has not just drove 12 hours. It's drove 12 hours times 10 drivers. And now I've made 12 times more the amount of money. You know what I'm saying? That's how the rich get rich, but we're not taught that. We're not taught the power of leverage. If you are an artist and I'm a spoken word poet and you got an art gallery and I do poetry events, why wouldn't we collaborate together to make some magic happen? You know what I'm saying? If you have a bar or a venue where black people and try to come up with magic that would support our people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
But we
100%.
don't come together because everybody too busy staying in their own lane, doing their own things. When I'm a firm believer that we're all members of one body. We all have a gift and talent we're supposed to go out there and utilize for the greater good, right? But it all is still for the same purpose of uplifting God's children. So if you the arm and I'm the leg and she the foot and he the head, you know, the whole body come together to serve the people in the same way. But we don't see the connection of how all those members can come together and everybody can still benefit.
That goes back to the days of slavery, though.
Yes,
It goes back to that.
mindset.
Yeah, the mindset is crazy.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. You know, the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah.
It's still prevalent. We said it all the time because it's so evident every day. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's evident though.
Right.
You know, even relationships, men and women don't like men don't like women nowadays. And that's fucking crazy. Like,
I understand that too.
you know, you have to go through some, I don't know. So you have a poem though that you wrote. It's titled
Since you asked me to share a piece, I figured I should share one of my most relevant pieces
Please Do.
and most recent pieces. And I just got to find it in my phone. But it's a poem about black love coming from the black woman perspective in loving a black man.
Okay.
So give me a second while I get it pulled up here.
Take your time. It's gonna be very interesting, I'm sure. I'm sure it's gonna be very interesting. Miss Rice Johnson, Miss Johnson Rice. You want some water? You good? You want a shot of liquor? You want some gin? You know wine? You want, okay. I just want to be I want to be hospitable. And want to be, Yeah. So you've been doing poetry for a long time?
Yes. Consistently, I've been writing since about 2013.
Okay. That's what's up.
Okay.
You got it? All right. Here's a rendition by Miss Tiffany Hope McAllister.
It's called Loving a Black Man. Love in general, it is hard. But loving a black man can be even harder. Now, before you get all upset and judge me, let me explain. Our culture and society teaches men that they have to be hard in order to be strong, and that they have to be void of emotion in order to be a man, because having emotions is feminine, it's not masculine. So they hold everything inside, never wanting to reveal all of their feelings for fear of being judged as less than. And that's just men in general. But there's an extra layer added to that when it comes to loving a black man. The conditioning and the oppression that black men have endured have afflicted them for generations. When he goes out into the world, he has to be everything that he is not. He has to put on disguises in order to fit in the mold. He has to hold everything inside of him, being sure not to open his mouth wide enough to speak his truth. He has to conform to show that he can follow the rules just to get ahead. He has to watch his tone to make sure that he is not coming off too aggressive. He has to watch where he walks as to be sure to not step on anyone's toes. And when he walks, he has to be sure that his arms don't sway a certain way or too strongly at his side for fear that someone may think that he's trying to hurt them. Because you see, our society and culture trains people to believe that a black man is harsh, that a black man is scary, that a black man is dangerous. So he has to try to carry himself as if he's not a black man at all. He has to walk around carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, feeling like those boulders could come crashing down and crushing him at any moment. Yet he still has to stand tall as as a prideful fool man, never letting any of that impact his strength. So when your black man comes home, he needs to come home to peace. He needs to experience the love and acceptance that he does not get out in the world. He needs to feel tranquil in his own home. A black man's queen can never look at him through the same eyes that everyone else in the world does. She has to see and recognize him for the king that he is. She has to be his safe place and his peace. She has to be the one who lifts him up when the world beats him down, standing in the full armor of God. She has to be the one that protects his crown. And it's not so much of being his peace as it is finding peace within herself to allow him to experience it. Because if she is not at peace within herself, then her turmoil will only give him the same troubles as the rest of the world does. So yeah, love is hard by itself, but loving a black man is even harder. You have to be able to check yourself in order to give him what he deserves. So excuse him if he comes off a little rough at times. He may be a little rough around the edges because he's had to be. Excuse him if he needs a little extra reassurance to know that he can trust you, because the world has taught him that can trust no one and that everyone is against him. Excuse him if he doesn't know how to communicate his feelings in a healthy way because he has never learned how to identify them in the first place. Excuse him if he is a little unsure of himself because the world has made it so he can barely recognize himself, so he is out of sync with self. Your only job is to accept him in all the facets of him, flaws and all, to love him unconditionally, to provide a safe space for him to express himself without judgment, to show him the same grace that God shows you, to endure through the hard times in full faith that God is not done with him yet, to be by his side as he grows and gets back in tune with himself and finds his way, to see the king inside of him and to support him on his journey. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying to settle for being treated poorly, because if you are doing all of that for him, then by all means, he is obligated to do the same for you and to love you and to protect the queen that God gave him. I'm just saying that if a black man can't get unconditional love and acceptance from his queen, then where else is he supposed to get it in the world that hates him? It's just something to think about, because love is hard in general, and it can be even harder to love a black man. But it is so worth it, because if and when that man realizes what you have known all along, that he is a king destined for greatness, then you will see his transformation right before your eyes, and the love you share will transform because of it for the better. So be his biggest cheerleader, believe in him, and fight the good fight right by his side. It will all work out in the end, so show him some patience and watch as he blossoms into the king that he was destined to be. Just watch and see.
Hey. See what I'm talking about? That's what's up. Major. That's what's up. That's
And by all means, I'm not perfect, but like I said, my poetry has always been a healing part of my journey. And when I express something, it first is for me. So I write to speak to self, but then I write to speak to the masses in hopes that someone else can relate to it and it may help them have a better outcome in their life.
That's what's up. That's very, very powerful. And I want to go back and dissect it, but not today though.
Okay.
Not today, because it's a lot of you put a lot up and down.
Yeah.
It's a lot up in that thing, packed up in there, real tight.
Right.
Great poem though. I mean, it spoke. It's truth.
Right.
It's not really about it being poetry. It's just about being truthful.
Right.
Because I know a lot of that you was talking about me up in there. You feel me? I felt that. I felt that real strong up in there, for real. So With that being said, when you have your empowerment summits or empowerment events, do you try to help women to walk that walk?
Yeah, so the goal of the empowerment experience is to bring people together, hopefully of like mind, that can support each other in their different venues, bring awareness to the different local businesses that are around, but also give people, individuals, the tools they need to empower them personally and professionally. So at every workshop, the goal is to have some type of micro training that'll be like some personal skills or professional skills that everybody can use, whether you are a business owner already or you're just somebody that's got an idea in your mind or your gut and you've been aspiring to be a business owner but didn't know how to go about it. And now you're in a room with people who've already taken that step and started businesses. And you can come together on commonality and relate to one another and hopefully inspire each other. So the idea is that people who are already doing are going to impact the lives of people who want to do, so that we can bring success to the whole community.
No doubt. Yeah, that is great. So do you use your your psychology, your background in psychology to relate or to actually get at people? Like,
I think having an understanding of all the things that would come into a person and make people the way that they are just helps me to be able to see people where they are, relate to people where they are, and figure out what their needs are. You know, everybody has something that they're looking for, something that they need to help them get to the next level. We're in survival mode. We're trying to take everyone to thriving mode. And we can't do that without first identifying what people's needs are. And then this space would be the space where we would create the solutions to meet those needs.
No doubt. Okay. I had a couple of questions for you that don't make any sense.
Okay. Shoot.
Can you skate?
I used to be able to. The way my legs are set up now, I don't think my joints would support it.
Crazy.
I took my 4-year-old skating and I wouldn't dare get on the skates.
Crazy.
Maybe if I lost a little weight, I might be able to get the courage to get on some skates again.
Nah, you still skate though. If you skated one time,
I used to love skating. I used to go there in Glen Burnie.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. The skating ring, the bowling alley, everywhere. All those places.
Yeah. That's what's up. Okay. What's the most amazing thing that someone has ever done for you? Not bought for you now, but they did it for you out of respect or out of love.
Ooh, the most amazing thing. I've had the pleasure of being surrounded by love from my mom. My mom is my muse because I've seen her struggle her whole life. And like I said, she had me by the time she was 15. She had all three of us by the time that she was 20. And she didn't finish high school. She didn't eventually went back to get her GED. But I just saw my mom struggle. And I think that her unconditionally loving me and showing me love my whole life despite her struggle, despite what she would go through, you would never really know that was what she went through just by looking at her, because of the peace that she kept inside of her, because of how she presented herself out in the world, how she just always loved on other people. I'm an Aries, so I'm a fire sign. I'm Ram's head, you know what I mean? I can go toe to toe with you, and I can be selfish and pushy, but both of my parents were Cancers, and my mother's heart was the greatest gift that she's ever given me, because despite all of that, she instilled that heart in me. And I want to see other people. It took me a long time to realize that other people don't have the heart that you have, because I seen my mother have it, and I inherited that. Right. So I said, everybody like this. And then I get out into the world and face lots of disappointments and ugly truths, because I had to discover that people don't love like that. People don't trust like that. And people don't have the heart that you have. Somebody told me, he was like, "What? You have Jesus eyes." I had to write a poem about it. He was like, "You have Jesus eyes, because no matter what you go through, you continue to see the good in other people. You continue to love on people. You never let your hardships beat you down or make you a negative person or make you angry at the world or even at that person who wrongs you. My mother's heart is probably the best thing that she's ever given me, and I guess that comes from God."
No, that's great. That's amazing. Damn, that's powerful. I like that. Okay, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go back and try something else then. What is the most amazing thing that you want to do for somebody else?
I was sitting the other day pondering to myself, if I could have a superpower, what would it be? And I would want to be a healer. I would want to be able to be like Jesus and walk around the world and touch your cloak and heal you of your whatever it is, transgressions, iniquities, pain, take it away and replace it with God's love, happiness, and joy. I sit and I watch family members and friends suffer from things that most of the time are beyond their control. Mm-hmm. And I hate the feeling of helplessness that I feel when I can't do anything about it. So if I could be a superhero, I would want to heal people. I wouldn't want to fly. I wouldn't want to be super strong. I wouldn't want to have immortality. I would just want to be able to go around and say, "Boop, you're healed. Boop, you're healed. Boop, you're healed." And that's why I call myself the Hope Fairy on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram. I'm the Hope Fairy. My little sister called me a fairy from when she was really little. I don't know why. But she would have like night terrors and stuff. And when she would wake up, she wouldn't even be awake. She would just be crying out, and she would always call for me. And she told me I was her fairy. And so I said, okay, well, I guess I'm the Hope Fairy. That's what's up. I would want to be able to heal people. So when I'm trying to empower people and speak life over people and uplift people, that is my way of healing people.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's something that's amazing that you would say that. Most people want to do something else, something I guess more egotistical,
self-serving.
Yeah. Okay, if you were stuck on a deserted island somewhere, and anywhere in the world, how would you survive?
Off the land. I believe that God gave us everything that we needed in the land. I think that everything natural has a place, whether it helps heal us or whether it is poisonous to us, but it has a purpose. In the great circle of life, everything natural has a purpose, and I think that I could find everything that I need off the land, whether it be fruit, whether it be food, whether it be water, whether it be shelter. I'd figure it out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, you got some good answers. Your next event is going to be January the 25th.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
At the
Anderson County Library.
Mm-hmm. I'm serious, though. If you don't get any sponsors, you got to get some signs out and start picketing.
Oh, I hear you on that.
Start marching and shit.
Definitely.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You might go in jail, do you?
No.
I was messing with you, but for real though, we gotta start because we gotta start taking matters into our own hands. Mm-hmm. Our community, it's a community around Anderson, man. We it's so divided. Small place, but it's divided though.
Yeah.
Every side of town, every side of town needs something. Mm-hmm. But we need to come together first of all. We need to come together all at one time,
right?
And then figure out what to do next,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So if you get everybody to come out. I don't know what they have. I don't know Mr. Marion Tarrant. You know him?
I'm not sure.
You know him? Yeah, Mr. Tarrant. Yeah, he's a very powerful black man in his community. You might want to get in touch with him. He has a nonprofit. He has a group, a mentoring group, and he has a lot of people that he knows and that he deals with that they can help bring awareness and help support it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, most definite.
But I like what you said, because coming from Baltimore, it's a bigger city, but it's still divided in the same way. Yeah. It's like that probably everywhere, I imagine. And it's by design that we're so separate.
Yeah.
And we have to overcome that conditioning and that mindset and stop perpetuating that and create a culture of unity.
So what do you think that looks like, though? I mean, what do you think that would actually look like, as far as like the steps needed to make that happen?
That's a good question. It looks like a network, like a big network that has everything that you can think of, whether to serve and support the family unit. You know, they work so hard to tear the family apart. We have to transcend that and bring the family together, and not just stopping at the four walls of your own home, but extending that into the community. You know, that's like sharing of gifts and talents. Because I imagine, like, if everything was to crash right now, what would we do? Will we know how to survive? Will we know how to exchange service for service in the likeness of wanting to survive, to be able to come together? Or will we be too busy fending for one another and trying to kill each other over the same resources? You know what I'm saying? It looks like a one-stop shop where you can get every need met, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional, that would support the being, so that the individual can come together and form a healthy family that will form a healthy community. Yeah.
Do you think that this question is off the record often? Do you think that the segregation was better, or do we have to have integration? Which one?
That's
which one's
always
better?
a difficult question.
I can't even get this shit out of my mouth.
I hear what you're saying.
Which one's better, integration or segregation?
And I say that's a difficult question because, hey girl, because I'm biracial, and without integration, I wouldn't be here. But I do believe that when our people became divided, that was an influential part of the journey as to why we're here now. Because when we were together as a people, we were working together. We had our resources together. We had all those things growing together. We had our churches together. We knew who we were as a people. And then when that got ripped from us, we kind of lost all of that. And I think we're trying to get back to that. And I think that's what I'm trying to spearhead, is people just coming together so that we can get back to a place where we look out for one another.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it got ripped from us, though. I think we gave it away. You know what I'm saying? I think we gave it away.
I understand that.
You know. But that's my opinion, though. Okay, one last question for you. With you being biracial, say if it was a race war, what side you gonna stand on?
I'm always going to stand on the side of unity regardless, because we all God's children no matter our race. And if you think about it, the race started off as a color of people of color, and we just migrated to different parts of the world, and the environment plays a part in the different melanin levels that are in people's skin as to why there are different shades. So if you think about it, we all black. We just different shades of it. Some are void of melanin altogether. Some of them just got a little bit of melanin. Some of them got more melanin than others.
You were very cool with that damn answer. I try to trip your ass up with that one, but you ain't gonna fall for that shit. I try to get your ass to stumble a little bit. You ain't even down stumble now. That's what's up, though. Well, Miss Tiffany Hope McAllister, I'm glad to have you on tonight. ATOWN'S podcast show, January 25th, 2025. Look for her empowerment event in Ennis County Library. And it's been a pleasure having you on. Great poem. Come back when you wanted to. Bring Mrs. Rice Johnson with you, Johnson Rice. You know.
And stay tuned because we'll be launching my women's empowerment YouTube channel called W3. So I will be announcing that when it goes live on all my social media platforms, as well as Stephanie Johnson Rice and our other partner, Adrian White.
There you go. I know Adrian. Maybe not. All right. Catch y'all New Year's Eve. I'm finna lay it down. West Side, baby.
Lighting the way for hope.
That's it. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.